your dog drag you around like a puppet? Your hand hurts, your lower back is in pain, and you feel taken advantage of every time you take your dog for a walk?
Do you see yourself in this? If so, don't worry, that's normal. It's not your fault and it's not your dog's fault either. If you struggle with teaching your dog to loose leash walk and the outcome is not what you hoped for, something must have gone wrong in the process. In the 15+ years of experience we have as dog trainers, we have seen ourselves and others get stuck at some point during the training process. Feeling like you cannot take the next step for whatever reason is very frustrating, and oftentimes the point where we start blaming the circumstances or our dog for our lack of progress. My dog is incapable. This method doesn't work. I've tried everything and nothing is working. This is just not for us. But what if I'm here to tell you when this happens, there are 2 things to keep in mind.
1. Don't get caught up in the symptoms. They're simply a sign that your foundations are weak. Don't get caught up in the outcome, but go back to your foundations right away, work on those, and subsequently, the outcomes will change. And 2, adjust your training according to your dog. If you find yourself in the final stages of training a behavior and everything seems to be falling apart, take it as a sign that you must have tripped up somewhere along the line to be feeling stuck and facing such a struggle later on in the process. You will not solve anything by addressing the symptoms. Instead, you have to go back to your foundations and make adjustments that are suited to your dog there. Don't restart at the end with the symptoms, start at the start with your foundations.
I find that the best trainers are the ones who can recognize when they're feeling stuck, look back at their training process and the dog they have in front of them, go back to their foundations, adjust their training to suit their dog, do better for their dog and what they need, and then be able to move on forward through the rut from there. I like to use what I call the pancake theory to help me envision the process better. It goes like this.
Training your dog is just like baking pancakes. As Chasing the Tail, we give you the recipe, the step-by-step guide you can follow to make pancakes in your own home. But it is your job as the dog trainer, or in this case, the pancake chef, to adjust the training to your dog, to do the actual cooking. Look at the ingredients in front of you and determine whether your eggs are big enough for this recipe. It's your job to notice the type of stove you have and adjust your cooking time accordingly. If you set out to make pancakes only to find that you don't have enough milk to make the batter, what can you do? You can try to make it with the measurements you're used to and complain that your batter is defective or too thick or even dry. Or you can search through your pantry to find an alternative milk option and work with that one instead. Your pancakes can still be delicious if you're capable of adjusting your methods and working with plant milk too. It's your responsibility to recognize the ingredients you have and what you can adjust during the process.
Similarly, if you find that the outcome after weeks of training is not what you had hoped, if your dog only walks nicely beside you when you manage them like an overbearing boss, or if they still don't seem to understand that pulling on leash will not get them where they want to go, it is an indication that somewhere along the line, during the process, something needed more attention or needed adjustments. If you find your pancakes are clumpy after you bake them, the solution is not to pull the clumps out of the baked pancakes already. You will only be able to solve the problem by going back to the foundations, going back to your batter and adjusting things there. Either adding more flour or mixing the batter more thoroughly to get rid of the lumps, and only then baking the pancakes again. The same applies to training your dog.
Picture that your dog is the pancake batter and you are the chef. It's your responsibility to look at the ingredients you have in front of you and the tools you can use, or how you can adjust your cooking methods. If you've been working on your leash walking skills at home and still feel like nothing is helping, you have to go back and work on the foundations. These are the clumps in your pancake that hint you have to return to your mixture to mix it better. Don't forget, if you ever find yourself feeling stuck, don't dismiss the whole process, but instead look at the attributes you have in front of you and ways in which you can do better for your dog as their trainer. No dog will struggle with the same things in the training process as another, so if you're not getting the results you wanted, ask yourself, what could you do better in the training process and what you can go back to improve? If you accidentally threw too much flour into your pancake mixture, or if your pancake mixture has come with a lot of flour to begin with, it's up to you to notice that, go back to the first step and add in some more milk. Of course, this takes practice and trial and error to recognize. Even we, as seasoned dog trainers, are still learning every step of the way sometimes. But the sooner you avoid making excuses like blaming your dog or your circumstances and start looking for solutions, the faster you will improve and the faster your dog will be able to grow too. Once you establish rock-solid foundations and build on those with consistent practice, you'll notice your dogs start paying more attention to you, you'll see their loose leash walking stamina increase, and you'll have a much deeper relationship built on trust. No more frustration, helplessness, and feeling lost.
So remember, if your pancakes are too slim, too thick, or if they have lumps, don't blame your batter for being the way it is, but take it as an opportunity to ask yourself, what can I do better as a chef? What can I do better as a trainer? Where in this process did things get tangled up? Can I go back to build solid foundations before baking the pancake first? Now, if you do find yourself in this position and don't know what you can go back to improve on in your foundations, we have the solution for you on a silver platter. If you would like to know more about the solid foundations you can build that will ensure your loose leash walking doesn't fall apart the moment you step outside, we've prepared a thorough course that gives you the loose leash walking recipe and guides you in case you do find that your pancakes turn out lumpy. Join our loose leash course today and start enjoying your walks, receive a clear and concise training plan for a very complex behavior, and overcome any challenges that pop up along the way. Coming soon, March 1st. Stay tuned!